Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Shut Up and Read. Today I'll be doing the book haul for the month of May. I know it is very late, but here we are guys, and let's just get right into it. So for this month, I would say, looking at my pile, I have about 40 plus books, maybe 50 books to share, and that's not even considering the fact that I have a huge pile of books that I got from Book Expo and BookCon, which I will link above in case you want to check that out, because that is very large as well. So anyways, the first few books I want to share with you guys are from Barnes & Noble. The first one is The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald. So this is a book that I have seen a lot on social media, especially for Bookstagram, and honestly it's just a mystery thriller novel. It's about a girl, Olivia. She fell one night and her mother gets a phone call saying that it was an accident, but the thing is, was it really an accident? Because she's found some bruises on her wrist, and so now she's trying to figure out, was it an accident? Did she get pushed? What really happened? And this book just really focuses on hidden relationships, a mother's love, and all that stuff, and it sounds really good. Then the next book that I got is one that I haven't gotten in a while. I haven't got any big fantasy books, I feel like, for the most part recently, and so when I saw this on sale at Barnes & Noble, I was very excited to pick it up, and that is Soul Keeper by David Dalglish. Hoping I pronounced his name correctly, but this one is obviously a fantasy novel. So this book is about a guy who is a soul keeper, and in this case, soul keepers are usually like preachers or healers, and this guy just goes around and travels among remote villages. And then one day something happens and the land is now flooded with ancient magic and some mysterious creatures. It says back here that there are fires that dance as if it's alive, corpses that walk, and creatures that can manipulate time itself. And then one day he also finds that soul keepers are turning up dead. But not only that, but their bodies are transformed into macabre works of art. And so now he's basically relinquishing his title as soul keeper and becoming slayer of monsters. And this book just sounds really fascinating. I've heard some really good reviews on it as well, so very excited for it. The next book that I got is The Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton. This is another book that I have heard a lot on, especially on Bookstagram. I've heard that it is very creepy, it's really intense, it's very gripping, and it's a page turner. And it's about this girl who basically will stop at nothing to be the perfect girlfriend. So she follows him, she stalks him, and it doesn't matter to her that they technically broke up. It's a guy called Nate, I want to say. They technically broke up 6 months ago, but nothing is stopping her because she is the perfect girlfriend. And it just sounds really intense, like definitely some psychological twist to it as well, and I'm very intrigued. Then the next book that I picked up is The Lost Girls of Paris by Pam Janoff. Really hoping I pronounced the last name correctly. So this book is a historical fiction, and it revolves around the three women, about their friendship and their courage, as well as this ring of secret female agent during World War II. So this book just sounds really good, and I am absolutely thrilled to read this as soon as possible. The next book that I picked up is This Is How It Always Is by Laurie Frankel. This book just sounds like a very heartwarming novel. So this book is about a little boy called Claude, and he's the youngest of 5 brothers. He also loves to play as a princess and dreams of one day growing up to be a girl. And Rosie and Pen, who I'm assuming are the parents, want Claude to be whatever or whoever Claude wants to be when he grows up. But the thing is, they're not sure they're ready to share this secret with the world until one day this secret explodes. And this book just sounds actually really perfect for Pride Month actually, so I might want to try to pick this up as soon as possible, but very excited for this one. This one sounds so poignant. It also says here that this is a novel everyone should read. It's brilliant, it's lively and fascinating, one of those rare special novels, made me laugh, made me cry, made me think, and this book just sounds really good, and I am very excited. The next book that I got was actually sent to me for a blog tour, and that is Not Our Kind by Kitty Zeldis. This is obviously another historical fiction, if you can't tell from the cover. This book is set in post-war New York City, and it's about 2 women whose lives change after they meet, and it just sounds really good, and I'm very fascinated by it. I'm also just really excited for this blog tour, so I would definitely need to read this as soon as possible, because I think the blog tour is in August, so very excited for this one. The next book that I got was sent to me by Tortine, and that is Storm Rise by Gillian Bomey. Oh my god, I definitely butchered that name. I'm so sorry. So this is a YA fantasy, and it has dragons in it, and both of them are keywords that usually entice me to pick up a book, so I was very excited for this one. There's a girl called Rain, and her greatest aspiration is to become a combat master. However, in her kingdom, women only have 2 possible futures. One is to be a wife or a spinster. Of course, she realizes that she doesn't want to do either of those things, so there's also some sort of war, and she realized that this war is a chance for her to prove herself. But she didn't plan on dragons, and I'm just so intrigued in this book. I think someone also mentioned that this book also has something about her being able to speak to dragons. I'm not sure about that, but regardless though, I am so intrigued and definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. This is an arc though, and it comes out in September 2019. The next 3 books that I got from Book of the Month, the first one is With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. Honestly, I don't really know anything about this book. I just know it's a YA contemporary, but the thing is, she is a must-buy author for me now after I was completely blown away by her debut novel, which is The Poet X. So enamored by it. I was just like so shocked by how amazing it is. I honestly thought that people were just overhyping it, but they were not. I'm also extra surprised because the book is written in verse, and I don't usually like things written in that kind of format or poetry or anything like that. Like, those are not my type. So I was really shocked by how much I absolutely love the book. But this book, though, on the other hand, is not written in verse. It's just written in regular prose, I guess. And so I don't really know what to expect by it, but I'm intrigued. I was like, I need to read another book by this author. So I was so happy to find that she was having another book, and it just came out, and I'm very excited for it. The next book that I got from Book of the Month is The Bride Test by Helen Hong. So this book, honestly, all I know is that it's a adult contemporary fiction, romance, chick lit kind of novel. It also has some diversity in it, and I'm very excited for that. Other than that, I don't really know too much about it, but I feel like this is the perfect time. Like, spring, summer is the perfect time for me to pick up books such as this one, so I'm very excited for it. Also, I have seen this book a lot on social media, so of course I was also very piqued by that as well, and definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. Then the last book that I got from Book of the Month is one that I'm so excited. It's one of my most anticipated reads of 2019, and that is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsal Faisal. Oh gosh, I'm really hoping I pronounced the name correctly, but this is a YA fantasy and I'm so excited for it. This book follows two people. One is a woman, her name is Zafira, and she is the hunter, where she basically dresses up as a man to get food for her people. And then on the other hand, there is Nasir, and he is the Prince of Death. His job basically is to assassinate those who are foolish enough to defy his father, who is the king. And then one day, their lives intertwine and things just go from there, and I'm just so excited for this book. I'm also mostly excited for this book because this book is inspired by ancient Arabia, which I feel like I don't really have too many books of, or know too many books of, or read too many books of, so I am very, very excited for this one. The next book that I got is from the publisher, and it's also a translated work from Danish, and I'm so excited for it. It's a mystery thriller, and the book is called The Chestnut Man, which, by the way, is a cover right here. It's A Chestnut Man by Soren Sivstrup. Oh gosh, I definitely butchered his name. I'm so sorry. And this book just sounds so creepy. It's about a psychopath who's terrorizing the city of Copenhagen. And his calling card, like it says here, is a chestnut man, a handmade doll made of matchsticks and two chestnuts, which he leaves at each bloody crime scene. But the thing is that these dolls hold some sort of secret, because after examining these dolls, they discover that the fingerprint belongs to a young girl, a government minister's daughter, who had been kidnapped and murdered a year ago. So is this a coincidence? What's going on? It just sounds so sinister, and I'm so psyched for this. Definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. And this one comes out on September 3rd, 2019. Then I got another book from the publisher, and that is The Perfect Fraud by Ellen LaCourte. So this book is a thriller novel, which I'm really excited for. It follows two women who both have some sort of dangerous secrets. One day, from a chance meeting, their lives intertwine with each other. But not only that though, because both their lives end up plunging into chaos, as well as the fact that a little girl's life hangs in the balance. So I'm very excited for this book. Definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible, because it comes out on June 18th. So actually, it comes out like next week, so very excited for this one. The next book that I got, I was not expecting, but I'm very excited for it, and that is Little Lovely Things by Maureen Joyce Connolly. I want to say this is another mystery thriller novel. I think it came out already because this is not an arc, but very excited for this one. It's about this woman. One day, I think she's like traveling with her two little girls. I don't know what happened, but she ends up passing out because she was sick, and she wakes up at a gas station, because she passed out at the gas station, by the way. She wakes up and both of her little girls are missing. So it just kind of goes on from there, and I want to say it's a mystery thriller, but also says here that it's supposed to be hopeful and uplifting. So maybe it's not really a mystery thriller. I don't know. We'll see. But regardless, though, I'm very excited for this one. The next book that I got was also one that I did not expect from the publisher, and that is Cry Pilot by Joel Dane. This is a military sci-fi novel, and that's honestly all I really know about it. I do really enjoy sci-fi novels, though, and I feel like I haven't really picked up that many recently, except for like YA sci-fi. So I feel like this one will be really interesting and different from what I've been reading recently. And this one is an arc, and it comes out on August 6th, 2019. Then the next book that I got was also another one that I was not expecting. By the way, thank you so much for the publishers for sending me all these copies. This one is The Warehouse by Bob Hart. This book is one that I don't really know anything about, but it says here that it's a near future thriller about what happens when Big Brother meets big business and who will pay the ultimate price. So I guess I'll find out. I really don't know what to expect in this book, but it is a thriller, and I feel like thrillers are usually supposed to be very fast, very intense, and I feel like it might be good for this time period right now when I just really want something quick and easy to read, and I feel like this one might be it, or most of the thrillers I got might be it. So very excited for this regardless. And this one is an arc, and it comes out on August 2019. The next number of books I got, I want to say 16 of them. I just counted them. They were from the publishers. I feel like I would a giveaway of some sort because I don't really know what happened. It literally came all on the same day. It's like one giant box. another 2 more, I think there's 3, maybe 4 boxes total. Some of them were repeats. I don't really know what happened. Like, no one mentioned anything to me about me winning a giveaway, and they just all appeared. So if you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram, you guys will have seen that already when I posted about it. I want to say early May, and I was just shocked by it because it was the largest pile of books that got sent to me at one time, and I honestly thought it was my birthday, but like it wasn't, obviously. But yeah, so obviously because these are sent to me by a publisher, I really don't know anything about the books at all, so I'm just gonna go through them really quickly. The first one is The Beauty of the Moment by Tanaz Bhathena. I definitely butchered her name. I am so sorry. But this one seems to be a YA contemporary, and that's all I really know about this book. Oh, by the way, all of the books I got from this publisher is like Macmillan, different imprints of Macmillan as well, and they're all finished copies. So this is the first one that I got from them. The next book that I got from them is You Won't See Me Coming by Kristen Orlando. I don't know this one, but it seems like it's a mystery thriller just because of the cover. And the next book that I got from them is Small Town Hearts by Lily Vale. This is a book that I have heard about. All I know, though, to be honest, is that it's a YA contemporary romance. It's set in the cafe, I want to say. And it also says over here, rule number 1, never fall for a summer boy. So it's supposed to be cute, it's supposed to be fluffy. I feel like this is perfect for the summer. But again, I don't really know too much about these books. The next book that I got is The Beast Player by Nahoko Uhashi. I am so sorry. Definitely butchered her name wrong. All I know from the cover so far, it looks like it's a fantasy, but that's just a guess, to be honest. I really don't know anything about this book, but I have heard this book once or twice so far, I want to say, on social media, but not too much about it. The next book that I got is The Lonely Dead by April Henry. Again, I'm not really sure what this book is about, but it seems to be some sort of mystery thriller just because of the cover here. It looks very eerie, very intense. The next book that I got from them is The Wild Lands by Paul Gressy, I want to say his name is. This one looks like some sort of YA contemporary, maybe about 4 people. From the cover, it seems like they're going on some sort of journey, maybe something about self-empowerment, self-realization, something like that. Really don't know. Next one I got from them is Awake in the World by Jason Gurley. This one, oof, I don't know, from the cover, I want to say it's a YA contemporary. Follows some sort of guy and a girl, perhaps. Maybe wrong about that, I'm not really sure. It looks like it could be anyone, to be honest, on this side. This one looks like a guy, though. And something to do with some stacks of building there. I'm just really guessing these based on the cover because I really don't know. The next book that I got is Death Preferred Blondes by Caleb Rollrig. Again, I don't really know, but this one seems to be a YA contemporary, perhaps, maybe a mystery. Not really sure. Next one, though, is one that I'm actually kind of excited because recently I started to go into graphic novels, and that is Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganushu. Gosh, I definitely pronounced that name wrong. But this is a graphic novel. Like I said, it already has some beautiful illustrations here. And I want to say that there is some LGBT representation in this book as well, based on what I have seen so far about this book. But this book is definitely one of the few that I'm actually really excited to read. So I will try to read this sometime this month because it is Pride Month this month, so very excited for this one. The next book that I got from them is All Is Fair by Dee Gerritsen. I'm assuming this one looks like a historical fiction of some sort. Something like that. And the next one is I'm Leaving by Melissa Ostrom. This one says over here, how will she start over when there's no end in sight? So this one also seems to be another book about perhaps self-realization, something about journey, finding yourself, etc. and contemporary, of course. The next book that I got from them is Fear of Missing Out by Kate McGovern. Honestly, a lot of these books I have not even heard of, to be honest, so I'm actually just as surprised as you are about what some of these books are about. This one seems to be about perhaps a YA contemporary, perhaps some romance in there because I do see 2 people holding hands there, so maybe there's some romance in there. And the next book that I got is another graphic novel, which I'm also kind of excited, to be honest, and that is Kiss Number 8 by Colleen A.F. Venable and Ellen T. Crenshaw. This one I don't know anything about, but I want to say there's also some LGBT rep in there as well, because I've also seen this book when I was looking at something about graphic novels with LGBT representation for Pride Month, and I think this was on there. I could be wrong though, don't really quote me on that, but very excited for this one if it is LGBT because then I can read it as soon as possible for this month. So last 2 books that I got from Macmillan, I feel like I actually counted it wrong because I think there's only 15 to be honest, but anyways, this one is Fake Plastic Girl by Zara Lisbeth. I cannot tell from this cover, to be honest. I want to say YA contemporary. That's a good guess, I feel like. Next one is In Another Life by Cece Hunter. This one also seems to be perhaps about a YA contemporary. Yeah, but these are the last 2 books that I got from this massive, perhaps giveaway. I honestly still don't know what really happened, to be honest, but I even checked on the labels to make sure it wasn't sent to the wrong person, but they all said like free copies on there, so I'm assuming I won a giveaway. I just don't know which giveaway I won. I thought maybe it was one of those like social media ones, but I looked on all of them to see if they were the ones I might have won, and none of them seemed to be related to this one. I have no idea, to be honest, but regardless, I'm so grateful for them for sending this to me, because this was honestly the most number of books I got in one sitting. And I'm also really sorry that some of my summaries are just, or actually no summaries to be honest, because I basically did 0 summaries on all of them because it's just a guess on the cover, and hopefully I'm right or close somewhat. But anyways, I'm just really excited for them, really grateful to be sent this entire stack of books. But anyways, moving on to the other books that I got in May. Instagram tour, and that is An Artifact of Death by Alexa Padgett, but I think that it's now by J.J. Cagney. I think that's how the author wants to be called. And anyways, this one sounds really good. This is a murder mystery, I want to say. It has some sort of ghost elements to it. It's a thriller novel. I'm excited for this. I feel like this is a perfect time. Also, it's a very short novel, so this would be perfect for me to read during the summer. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's a murder mystery, and I feel like anything else might spoil some parts of it, so very excited for this one. The next book that I got also from another publisher is The Furies by Katie Lowe. This one is an ARC, and it comes out on October 8th, 2019, and this one is a mystery thriller novel, which I'm so excited for. I feel like a lot of my books this time around are mystery thrillers. I feel like now I'm just gonna be buried alive by them because I got a lot this time, guys. So this book is a debut novel, and it follows the fact that in, was it 1998, this 16-year-old girl at a boarding school was found dead with no known cause of death. And the question now, of course, is what happened to her, and to find that answer out, you either go back way back when to, I want to say, the 17th century at the same boarding school. And this boarding school has a grim history of witch trials. And this book just sounds so intense, and I'm just so excited for it. It sounds really creepy, kind of like witchy as well because of the witch trials. Definitely some sort of psychological twist to it, and it sounds like it'll be a really fast-paced read, and I'm very excited for this one. The next book that I got, I actually pre-ordered it because it was coming out in paperback, and I was like, yes, finally. I'm a paperback person. I love my paperbacks because I love the floppiness of it. But anyways, this book is Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. Honestly, all I know is that it's a YA sci-fi novel, and it's by Jay Kristoff. And honestly, after reading the Illuminae Files by this author as well as Amy Kaufman, I was like, I need more books from this author that is sci-fi. So I decided to pick up this book, and I'm very excited for it. To be fair though, I've heard some mixed reviews about it, but I love sci-fi. I feel like I don't have enough sci-fi in my life right now, so regardless, I am very excited for this one. The next 3 books that I got were from the publisher, which I had actually requested, so I'm very excited that they sent it to me. And the first one is Tiger Queen by Annie Sullivan. This one I was excited for because I heard that this is a retelling, and I read her previous book, her debut book, which is A Touch of Gold, which I also really enjoyed, and that was a retelling of King Midas, and this one is a retelling of The Lady or the Tiger. It's technically based off a short story, and the thing is I haven't really heard of any sort of retellings based on that short story, so I'm really intrigued by this one. And honestly, I just really liked her writing, so when I found out that she was writing another book, another retelling specifically, I was very excited for this one and definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. This one comes out on September 10th, 2019. The next book that I got from the publisher is The Memory Thief by Lauren Mancy. Honestly, this cover is absolutely stunning. I'm so excited for it. It looks so gorgeous. This is a YA fantasy, and it's set in the city of Craywick where memories reign. And this is a society where, like I said already, memory is the important part. Memory is taken as currency, and people are divided based on their abilities. And there are some gifted individuals who can take your memory simply by a touch. So this book follows a girl, her name is Etta Lark, who is desperate to leave this corrupt world, but the thing is she cannot leave because of her mother. And her mother is soon threatened to be auctioned off for whatever reason, and this is a practice in the city where the criminals' memories are auctioned off to the highest bidder and then they are killed. So now she is desperate to save her mother, and she'll do anything that she can to save her. So this book just sounds really good. It's all about hope and survival and desperation as well, and this book just sounds really fantastic, and definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. This one comes out on October 1st, 2019. The last book that I got from the publisher is Wardens of Eternity by Courtney Moulton. This one sounds so good. It has some sort of mythology in it, specifically Egyptian mythology, and it's of course a YA fantasy. It follows a girl called Ziva who's abandoned by her parents at a very young age. Years later, she finds out that she has some unbelievable powers and that she's actually the descendant of a revered Egyptian queen. Her powers are actually passed down from Egyptian gods. And of course, this book is just not about that, but it's also about this global conflict. Apparently it's supposed to threaten World War II, so very excited for that as well, and she's the only one who has the ability to prevent this global disaster. So I am so excited for this book. This book sounds so good. I feel like I haven't read that many books about Egyptian mythology recently, so this one seems very high on my list, and this one comes out on January 21st, 2020. The next book that I got was actually sent to me for another Instagram tour, and that is Outrush by Erin Stevens. This one's actually book 3 in the Mer Chronicles. I haven't actually read book 1 or book 2 yet, So I don't really know what this is about, but it's supposed to be about mermaids, I want to say. Obviously from the cover, I'm assuming mermaids involved here, and it's a YA fantasy. Anyways, that's all I know of this book. I'm very excited for it regardless. I mean, the cover is really pretty though. I feel like I don't have that many mermaid books these days, so I'm very excited to pick up another one. And of course, I want to pick up the first 2 books before I read this one. So the next book that I got is another pre-order that I did, which I don't usually do, but this case I did because I was like, I need this book. And that is Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is another YA sci-fi book by these 2 authors, which I'm so excited for because of Illuminae Files. But I literally just watched Amy's wrap-up video for the month of April, I want to say, and she had read and reviewed this book already, and she gave it 2 stars. So now I'm kind of like, but at the same time though, I feel like maybe with my lower expectations, it will be better. Who knows? So the thing is, everyone keeps saying that this book is about like a ragtag team of a crew, like a space crew, and it's basically the dregs of the class or something like that. But the thing is, according to Amy, that's not the case at all. So I think with that in mind, I might be better. Like I might go in with a better expectation or a more knowledgeable one, or like a more accurate expectation is what I'm trying to say here. So because of that, maybe the book will be better because I don't have this misassumption, I guess, or misconception that this book is about ragtag team, even though apparently, according to Amy, all like the crew members are actually friends, or they know the guy. I want to say his name is Tyler Jones. He's like the star pupil, and he's trying to pick his own crew, so he has his ragtag, but it's not really ragtag. But anyways, regardless though, I'm very excited for it. It's a sci-fi novel. It's by these 2 authors. I adored their first book, which is Illuminae Files, and yeah, really excited for this one, guys. Definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. The next book that I got is The Burning Chambers by Kate Moss. This is not the cover. This is the actual cover of the book, and this was sent to me for a review, which I don't really know too much about, unfortunately. This one comes out on June 2019, so I should probably read this as soon as possible. Looking at it very briefly though, it's set in France in the 1500s, 1562 to be exact, and it's about a war that sparks between the Catholics and the Huguenots, which divides neighbors, friends, and family. And it follows a young couple called Minot and Piet, who are thrown together by chance, and they find themselves on opposing sides, and it's about like love and honor and treachery and betrayal. And I don't know, but this book, this sounds like it'll be a really good read. But I feel like this book would not be a good read for now because I feel like I'm not in the mood for this type of book, but maybe in the winter or something when I just want to like snuggle in and read something big and gripping, and I feel like this might be it. But yeah, this is another book that I got from a publisher. Then the next book that I got from a publisher is actually for Blog Tour that I'm doing early July, which I'm so excited for. Another one of my most anticipated reads of 2019, and that is Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lin. This one just sounds so good. It's a YA fantasy. It incorporates a lot of Chinese mythology in it, which I'm very excited for. Again, guys, anything with like Asian inspired fantasies these days, I'm really excited for, because of course as an Asian person myself, I'm trying to read a lot more of those. So this one is about a girl who is a really good tailor, and the thing is, like, she cannot hope much for her, I guess, in this world where she basically, the most she can hope for is just to marry well. And then one day some sort of opportunity arises, and I guess something to do with her brother, like for some reason he can't make it, so she ends up disguising herself as him for this job. And this job is to actually create these 3 magic gowns for the emperor's reluctant bride-to-be. And it goes on this journey and adventure, and it just sounds so good. It's really very magical. It's about these 3 beautiful gowns. So anyways, guys, I'm just so excited for this book. Everyone who has read it so far has said that the writing is beautiful. It's set in a very beautiful setting. There's also a quote on the press release that I was just looking at where it says, if Mulan was not a warrior but tailor, she would be this book. So I am so excited for this one, guys. This one comes out on July 9th, 2019. Then the next book that I got from Barnes & Noble, I want to say, is The Last Voyage of Beau Blythe by Ali Condi. This one I got mainly because, okay, so a few reasons. One was because of the buzz. I feel like a lot of people were talking about this book. And second reason is because I haven't read any of her books in a while, and I figured why not check out this new one that she wrote. And the third reason is that it's supposed to be about like a dystopian with some steampunk vibes to it, which I feel like it's very unique actually. So I'm very excited for this one. And there's a quote here that says, "Who do you become when you have nothing left to lose?" And this book follows a girl called Beau Blythe, obviously, and she is a 17-year-old captain of a last mining ship. And the one thing that she is seeking right now is revenge against the raiders who basically destroyed everything and took everything away from her 2 years ago. And this book just sounds really fascinating. I feel like it'd be really fast-paced as well. I don't know, but I'm really excited for this one. Then the next book that I got is one that I'm so excited for, and that is The Princess and the Fangirl by Ashley Poston. This is the sequel to Gigarella, but I did hear that you don't actually need to read Gigarella to read this one. but to actually understand some of the references, you do need to read Gigarella, but it's not necessary. So anyways, I'm just so excited for this book. I love Gigarella so much when I read that like 2 years ago, and when I found out that she was doing a sequel to it, it's set in the same world. I wanted to say that the first 2 characters in the first book kind of have a role in this one as well, maybe, and so I'm just really excited for this one. So this is a book that you definitely need to read if you love fandoms. It's kind of a retelling, like a loose retelling of The Prince and the Pauper, because it's about a mistaken identity. Somehow this actress and someone else, they end up like switching places for various reasons, and it just sounds really good, guys. All the things I've heard so far about this book is that it's very happy. It's like a happy book. Like no matter what happens, the entire time you're reading it, you're just smiling, and that's exactly the type of book that I want during summer, so I'm very excited for this one. The next book that I got is another very exciting book, and that is The Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare with Wesley Chu. This one is The Eldest Curses of Book 1, and it basically follows Magnus Bane and Alec. And this book, guys, I'm so excited for. I feel like this is the series that I always wanted, because I really want to know more about Alec's relationship with Magnus Bane, their like adventures together, because I remember, if I remember correctly, this book takes place technically sometimes during the Murder Instruments. I want to say the second half of it, they go off some sort of adventure or trip to Europe, and this book is supposed to be about that trip. So I'm just really curious to find out what happened to them during that trip to Europe, and this is that series, guys, and I'm so excited for it. Definitely cannot wait to read this as soon as possible. The next book that I got from Barnes & Noble is Dark Shores by Danielle L. Jensen. Honestly, I got this book because I read her previous series, which is the Malediction series, and I love those books so much. So when I found out that she was writing another book that touches around gods and pirates, I was like, I am sold for that, so I'm so excited for this one. Then the next book that I got from Barnes & Noble is Saltkill Girls by Claire Legrand. I'm really excited for this book. I've heard a lot of amazing things about this book, so I was very intrigued. This is also a YA mystery novel. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because it's a mystery thriller, and I feel like I don't typically like to go too much into it. But anyways, very excited for this one. Then I got another book that was sent to me by the publisher randomly, and that is Salvation Day by Callie Wallace. So I don't really know too much about this book, but it says over here, a lethal virus is awoken on an abandoned spaceship in this incredibly fast-paced, claustrophobic thriller. So another thriller novel, guys. Apparently this month is the thriller month, guys. Thriller, mystery kind of books. It's this month, guys. And this one comes out on July 9th, 2019. The next book that I got, it was for an Instagram tour, and that is Screen Queens by Laura Goldstein. I am so excited for this book. The book sounds so good. So this book follows 3 girls, 3 very smart girls, who basically apply for this prestigious high school tech incubator competition in the country. Now they have secured their spot, but now they have to actually win the competition, and they had to go to Silicon Valley to do so. So for the next 5 weeks, they're in this competition, and they don't realize at first how difficult this competition is. And there's also apparently first love, a two-faced mentor, and an ex-boyfriend turned nemesis, and it just sounds like everything that you want. So I am so excited for this book. This seems like a great summer read. The next book that I got was from a book trade, and that is Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. Really hoping I pronounced that name correctly. This book features a girl-girl couple, and I'm so excited for that. It sounds so adorable. So I guess what happens in the beginning is that apparently one of the girls, her name is Sana, she asked out a girl, her name is Rachel, and basically it was terrible. I guess she got rejected, etc. But then things happen, and now they have to work together. So I'm guessing it's like a enemies, not really enemies, but they turn lover. It's like a love story, and I'm just so down for that, and this sounds like a perfect summer read. The next book that I got was sent to me by one of my best Bookstagram fans. Thank you so much for sending this to me, and that is Somewhere Only We Know by Maureen Gu. This one sounds so cute. It's another contemporary book, and it follows a girl who is a K-pop star, and it follows a guy who works for the tabloids, and something happens and end up bumping together, and things just go on from there, and it sounds so good. Anything with like K-pop stars these days, I'm just like, yes, I must read this book. So I am so excited for this one. Then the last few books that I got this month are from Barnes & Noble. The first one is Dreams of Falling by Karen White. This is a mystery chick lit novel that's set in the South, and it follows these lifelong friends who share this devastating secret. And the mystery part, I'm guessing, is trying to uncover this secret and figure out what happened then. And this book is just about love, sacrifice, and betrayal, and this sounds like a great summer read, especially because the cover looks like she is chilling at the lake or something, and it sounds like something I would love to do in the summer. So this book just sounds really good. Then the next book that I got is one that I have been eyeing literally for the entire year, because I was waiting for it to go on sale of some sort, but apparently the hardcover was just always like $25, and I was like, I don't know if I want to spend $25 on it. But then the paperback came out and I was like, yes, I need to get this. And that is Foundryside by Robert Jackson Bennett. This one is a fantasy book and the synopsis is super complex, I want to say. But all I know, to be honest, is that it's about a girl who is a thief and she has some sort of unique abilities. But this is a book that I've heard that I should go in and not knowing too much. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm so excited for this book. Everyone who has read this book, especially Reagan, I want to say, especially her actually, she has loved it so much. And I feel like her reading taste is very similar to my reading taste. So books that she adored, I feel like I would like as well. So I am really excited. I definitely want to read this as soon as possible. So excited for this one, guys. If there was one book in this entire stack that I really want to read, it'll probably be this one, to be honest. Then the next book that I got is a chunker, and I'm not going to go too much into it because it's book 2 of a series, and that is Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 2 of the Starlight Archive series, and I haven't read the first one yet, but I have recently read Skyward, which is very different. Obviously, it's a YA sci-fi novel, but I found out how much I love his books, his writing especially, so I am just so excited to read this one. I'm actually doing a buddy read right now for Mistborn, which I'm doing with Katie and Madison, so I'm so excited for that as well, to be honest. But I need to read more of his books. Like, I just started my journey. I just read Skyward, which is his most recent one, and I need to go and read all his fantasy books now because honestly I have not heard anything but positive reviews about them, so excited for it. And this one, like I said, I'm not going to talk too much about it because it's book 2, but it is an adult fantasy and it's set as part of the Cosmere, and that's the universe that he writes all his books in. And I feel like there's very few books of his that's not set in the Cosmere. I want to say Skyward's one of them, but the rest of them, like Mistborn trilogy, this trilogy, is all part in that same world. So anyways, so excited for this one. I just need to find time to read this, to be honest. I want to just take like a month to read this because this book just sounds like something I need to just really dive into. And yeah, another Brandon book, guys. The next book that I got sounds so cute and it sounds so romantic to me, and that is One Day in December by Josie Silver. This book is a contemporary chick-lit kind of novel. So this book follows this couple. The girl is Lori and the guy is Jack, and one day their eyes connect and they end up leaving because her bus leaves. Then for the next year or so, she scans every bus stop, every cafe, trying to find another glimpse of this guy. And then one day she meets one of her friends' new boyfriend, and it turns out to be Jack. And then for the next 10 years, there's some sort of like road about like friendship, heartbreak, all that stuff, and it's supposed to be one epic love story, and I'm just so excited for that. Like anyways, it says here, 2 people, 10 chances, 1 unforgettable love story. So this book sounds absolutely adorable, and it sounds like a book that I will really want to read during the summer. Then the next book is another Brandon Sanderson book, guys, and that is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This one is not part of, like, I feel like all his books are different, but they're all set in the same world. This is also part of the Cosmere universe, and all I know, to be honest, is an adult fiction, but it's like Brandon Sanderson, guys. I'm just kind of collect all his books and read them because I am so behind. He has written these books like ages ago. I want to say 10-20 years ago, and like this one is the 10th anniversary, so I mean, they've been out for a while, guys, and I'm just starting to read them now because I don't know what I've been doing for the past 10 years, guys, but I am really excited for this one. From what I know right now, this one is a standalone, but it's supposed to be a series because I looked on Goodreads and it says #1. So I'm assuming that he's going to write more in this world, the Elantris world specifically, so very excited for that. But regardless, more Brandon Sanderson, guys. So just 3 more books, guys. I'm almost done with this book haul video. It's been a long time coming. And the next one that I got from Barnes & Noble is Les Au Pairs by Emma Roos. I feel like I have seen this book a lot on Bookstagram. I feel like a lot of my mystery thrillers, adult fiction comes from Bookstagram, to be honest. And a lot of my YA recommendations come from Twitter as well as BookTube. And so anyways, this one is a mystery thriller novel and it centers around this dark family secret. And that's kind of all I want to know about this book, but I have heard a lot of good things about this book. Everyone seemed to really love it, so I am so excited for this one. The next book that I got is Girl Gone Viral by Arwen Almadi. This book sounds like it's so good. It's a YA, I want to say like tech-y kind of book because it's about a girl who can code, and it's all about virtual reality, and it sounds so good. It's also supposed to be some sort of mystery involved because it says back here, Opal will stop at nothing to uncover the mystery behind her father's disappearance. Very excited for this one. And the last book that I got is one that I have seen so much hype about, and I'm just really hoping to listen to its hype, and that is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This one is a contemporary romance novel, and it features a gay couple, and I'm so excited for it. It's kind of a love to hate kind of relationship, like a pretend relationship, and that just sounds like something I love, and I'm so excited for it. It's like all the tropey stuff, but apparently it's like super cute, and enjoyable and fun, and it's really good, and I want to read this as soon as possible. Actually, this will probably be the first book that I read, to be honest, because I'm actually reading this hopefully for the Book with Friends book club, because this is their June pick and I want to be on top of that. So anyways, so excited for this. I have heard nothing but good things, so I'm hoping that it lives up to my expectations. So anyways, those are all the books that I got during May. There has been a lot of books. I didn't realize how many books that I got during this month, but thankfully though, a lot of them were from publishers or from that giant stack of books that I got from Macmillan, which I'm still kind of confused where they came from, but grateful nonetheless. Anyways, there's just so many books that I really want to read as soon as possible. I just, time guys, I feel like I just don't have time to read them all. But anyways, let me know down below which book from my pile are you most excited to read, which one is your most anticipated, especially for some of my arcs that I got during this month. But anyways, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!